Welcome back, toy fans, and for this video, toy makers. I want to talk a little bit today about the conflict between the 2-year production cycle of toys versus the opposite side of the coin is really the 2-month availability in stores. And this is not, universal for all product, but it is a basis for which to kind of understand the connection between toy making and toy buying. So like movies that have a, call it limited release or, a return to the big screen, a lot of toys also are, you could consider them a limited edition product. While there's going to be toy product that sits around in stores for, sometimes years, toy product in general is a lot more comparable to limited edition product that's only available for a set amount of time. And that's because the way the industry works is product is meant to rotate on shelf about every 2 to 3 months. So toy makers are working 2 years in advance to place product on shelf for really a 2-month window. And as examples of that, I want to look at some recent figures and their current pricing on Amazon, just as an example. So here you have a Marvel Legends figure for $20. This is the SRP, and this is a current figure. Correspondingly, now you have another figure from that same wave. This is a Spider-Man wave of Marvel Legends, and it's going for about $8, $9 over the SRP. And this is all trickling back to that limited release window of 2 months. So, and this, tends to apply to a lot of collector product. Product, when it's on shelf, is very much like you're betting on futures. Some product is going to go up in price. Other figures are going to go below SRP. Understanding the characters and understanding the audience is key to this. You want product that's going to go up in price, and the fact that it only has a limited window is why collectors are scrambling to get it. You don't know necessarily who's going to go up and who's going to go down. All right, so that's kind of the background. Now I want to switch gears a little bit to the actual production and contrast this with the 2-year cycle it takes to make product. For a lot of consumers, it's all about instant gratification, wanting the product immediately right now. But what's often overlooked is the fact that the scripts or the starting point for product is often 2 years ahead of that product being on shelf. And there's a lot more guesswork than a lot of consumers tend to want to give the process. So let me give 2 examples. One is Guardians of the Galaxy, the original movie. So this was a big guess. Is this movie going to be a hit? Is it not? Who's going to be the breakout character? And from a consumer product standpoint, again, let's look at Marvel Legends, just because we were looking at that earlier. Who do you put in the wave? Who do you put 2 per case as the figure that's going to remain on shelf after all the figures are bought up? Well, do you take a bet on a character like Rocket Raccoon that's essentially an unknown at the time to audiences and sort of overproduce that character, hoping that he's going to become a runaway hit, which he did? Or do you go with the safe bet and throw in an Iron Man figure because Iron Man makes money? And that's why you see this Space Iron Man, who is not in the movie. He is in the Guardians of the Galaxy comic books, but he was in there 2 per case. He was your double figure for this wave. None of the Guardians were doubled. The bet was taken properly on Iron Man, a proven figure. But that's why you see characters like Iron Man winding up 2 per case in a Guardians wave, because there's so much guesswork going on. The other great example is looking at Jedi Master Luke from Episode 7. So there were a lot of Jedi Master Luke action figures, but they did not come out at the time of Episode 7. They tended to come out around Episode 8. And when I say a lot, I mean they had the same figure packaged in multiple ways, in multiple packaging. So you had that sort of Black Series 3 3/4 with the Vintage Series. You had the 5-point of articulation basic figure that shipped with the Episode 8 assortment. And, this was just the same character, but with less articulation. And then, of course, you had the 6-inch Black Series figure, who not only got a basic release in the black box, but also a deluxe release at Target that had, I think, if I remember correctly, a metal hand and an extensive base. And then there was even a Comic-Con release of the same figure. So 3 different releases of the exact same mold around the same time. The other example, and I am getting to my point, hang in there, is the Rattler Beast. So, again, a figure from Episode 7 that came out at the time of Episode 8. And not only did this figure kind of go on clearance relatively quickly, but the same figure was repackaged in the same time. The original package was on clearance, twice on shelf. Why is that? Here it is. The Episode 8 toy line was developed 2 years prior. It was developed at the time when Episode 7 was just hitting home video or home DVD release. So the figures that were being asked for at the time of the DVD release, meaning the Rattler and Jedi Master Luke, were being put into the Episode 8 toy line that was going to come out 2 years later. So that's why you saw so many Jedi Master Lukes with Episode 8, because 2 years prior, he was the #1 requested figure. And likewise, at the same time, lots of fans were asking for Rattler monsters at the time of the Episode 7 DVD release, because it was not in the Episode 7 line, which is why you saw a ton of him, at least packaged twice, in the Episode 8 line. That's an example of the 2-year gap. And that's the disconnect. That's kind of the point of this video, is that there is a huge disconnect because of that 2-year timeline between getting product to shelf and then only really having it on shelf for a limited time for collectors. It's really about betting. It's understanding the audience, understanding the characters, and understanding the buying habits that can affect if those figures, like I showed earlier in the video, are going to go up in price over SRP or drop below. And for a lot of people, it's really like shooting arrows at a target with a blindfold on. Do you take a bet on Rocket Raccoon? Do you put in more Iron Man? How much Jedi Master Luke do you make? And here's the solution I'm offering. My company, Spectre Creative. This is what we do. We have an in-depth understanding of the emotional connection to the consumer, and we can help avoid this disconnect by directing product development correctly, or at least ideally, to satisfy demand without taking bets on characters. It all comes from understanding the emotional connection. Check us out at spectrecreative.com. And if you like this video, subscribe and give it a thumbs up. I hope it was insightful, and if you want to see more, let me know in comments below. Thanks.